What is up, and welcome back to Highline Co. So right here I have my neglected E36 turbo build, and from the last time you guys have saw it, this is new, and I've also finished dialing the tune. So I kind of lost interest with this with so many other things going on in my life. I just got way too busy to be working on this. So I want to do a little bit of a different video today. I'm going to start it up for the first time in a few months, and then I'm going to go through a breakdown of what I would change if I were to do this turbo build again, what parts I would use again, what parts I wouldn't use, and just overall why, if you're going to do this, I would recommend taking a completely different approach than I did, unless you have plenty of time on your hands. So let's just jump straight into starting it up and seeing if it will turn over. Quite a while since this car has been driven, so I'm just gonna take it nice and easy. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I'm gonna just take it nice and easy, make sure nothing seems super wrong with it, and we're just gonna kind of take it over to the park, and then I'll go through my build list pretty much with you guys, show you what's going on, show you what I've done, and then I can give you guys some action. Okay, so I got to the park, and I'm just going to show you a few things on the inside that I did before we get to the outside. So first things first, as you guys saw maybe in a previous video, I gutted all the carpet and pretty much all the plastic except for any of the dash pieces. Haven't done anything to the dash yet because I want to do a tube dash at some point. Quick release, stupid steering wheel extender that doesn't fit because it's the wrong bracket. Got the mounted hydro, little bracket, welded it up, short shifter, nice and clunky. And then recently I just did a gauge so I could see the boost pressure. And then I got these NRG bucket seats on some NRG sliders, which are pretty nice. These got the little lever, you can slide them forward and back. And then the only other thing that I did that's not even really a real modification is just this NRG rear view mirror extender. It's more like convexed so you can see more. But now I'm going to jump straight to the actual important part, which is all of the turbo modifications, which I didn't even think about it. I won't be able to pop my hood because of my stupid tractor flap, but let's just jump out there. Good thing I left it a little loose so I could actually pull the tractor flap off. But let's jump straight into the important stuff. And the thing is, there is no turbo up top because it's a bottom mount, but up top, so we had to get thrifty with our manifold. So we had a 90 welded to the, and then for the wastegate, and then another 90, and then we plumbed it out of the hood. Intercooler piping is an absolute pain to work on because it's under the manifold. This is a sump, pretty much, and it's an oil sump pump, and I have this connected to the turbo drain, and then I have it coming up and around, and it's going back, gosh, I don't even remember. I think I have it going to the top of the oil pan. Here's the oil feed. This one was kind of cool, but the thing is, on this motor it doesn't fit, so we had to get thrifty with the radiator hose, and it looks terrible. Then we have the front mount intercooler, which I think came out phenomenal. Max Speeding Rod did a pretty good job on this. Actually, I'm leaking something. Don't know what it is. I hope it's just a little bit of water from it sitting. Max Speeding Rod's blow-off valve, piping, and then this is where I ran the boost gauge. Had to tee it in to the top of that. Oh, just kidding. Actually, I think this one's the, yeah, no, that is boost gauge. But so much for everything on top. Let me get down below and I'll show you the turbo setup. Okay, so I'm gonna show you down below so you can kind of see the turbo through here. It's right behind the motor mount right there, and it's just not very accessible with this being the smallest motor they make. So there's the turbo in there. You come out to this side, we can see just a little bit more, but not too much more. So there's the side of the turbo, and then I don't know if you can see the downpipe right there. I also welded an O2 sensor in there just so then the car would be reading a little bit better. So I took it to a tuner. He wasn't able to connect to it with ROM rate or anything just because the OBD1, which I had to cut the wires for it. There's a stupid way to get to OBD1, so you have to bridge a few wires, which there's a couple forums online. So I had to bridge some wires to allow tuning access through OBD2, and it's just a pain all around. This car has just been nothing but issues, but I've been able to make it work is the thing. I ended up tuning it myself completely, like 100%. It is fully tuned by me, which is probably not a good thing. All I did was go through a bunch of forums online and just kind of teach myself what the tables mean, what the tables do, how to adjust the tables properly, and pretty much just took a ton of timing out to match up to the PSI that this wastegate is set up for. I don't recommend. Just take it to a tuner. This motor has too many miles on it to matter for me. But I would say, even through all the ups and downs on this car, I have had a lot of fun building it, but there's just too many things I would change. A lot of you guys were with me with the cheap coilover install and the cheap angle kit install with the wheel spacers. I don't like how the cheap angle kit causes a terrible amount of bump steer, because I don't know if it's exactly because I had to cut the tie rods or if it's just a variation of all of the cheap coils, the old bushings, and then the angle kit spacers. But when I hit a pothole going down like a main road, it is terrifying. And as soon as I can afford to buy this kit online, it's $1,200. As soon as I can afford to buy that kit, I'm swapping that kit on. There'll be a full installation video for you guys. And BC coilovers or something similar, Fortunatos, something just in that ballpark would be my next step. And other than that, I think I'm just gonna rip until this motor blows, and then we're gonna game plan what's gonna be the next step of action. So a few things that I also wanted to share with. So in order to get your wastegate to connect to an external boost controller, you have to port the top of the wastegate, which I don't know if you can see in there, it's a little darker now. You have to port the top of the external wastegate to a boost side, and this turbo doesn't come with a bung for it, so I had to weld a nut in here, which there's probably a small boost leak. I've tested it and I didn't see anything previously, but it's been a little while since that's happened, to get this going. And then the other thing, you can see all that gray stuff. Those 90s, those elbows didn't fit properly, and the gaskets were warping because of the, like, they just aren't flat enough. So I had to take a ton of JB Weld putty and try to stop all the boost leaks in here, which I think I've got 90% of it. The other thing with this wastegate is it's not a nice wastegate, so you'll see the tractor flapping even when I'm not under load. Like, there's not even boost on the gauge, and it's loading up and emptying out, which, I mean, I could be wrong, but the whole point of the wastegate is to not open until a specific PSI. That's why they have the ratings on the springs and the boost controller. So I don't know, like I said, I think it's because it's bad. But it's not the best. The only reason why I actually installed this tractor flap was just because this car does sit. I wanted to prevent moisture and rain getting in there, so that's why I installed that. But overall, I do really enjoy this car. I love this chassis, and I really hope to fix this car and make it better. For as cheap as this whole build has been, I am so stoked for the outcome. I don't think I've spent more than, I think it's like $3,200 on the entire thing. Welded diff, tons of extra tires, wheels, coilovers, just every single part that's on this car, and the price of the car, I believe, is under $3,200. The nicest thing that I probably have in here is probably the glow shift gauge. Like, that is probably the nicest part about this car, or the actual NRG hub. So I'm gonna give you guys some hot takes on what you should do differently to prevent the hassle. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see it. So this is gonna be my little hot take. I'll put it up on the screen better. So the 323 IS produced 168 horsepower from the 2.5 liter motor. The 328i has 190 horsepower out of the 2.8 liter. The E36 M3, 240 horsepower out of the 3.2 liter. If you can find a cheap M3, that is going to be the quickest and easiest bang for your buck. But the thing is, you cannot find one decent for low price. If you can find a 328 or a 325, you'll be already miles ahead compared to a 323 IS. The 323 IS is literally the same exact car as the 325, 328, and the M3, but it has the smallest motor. I don't remember the ratio, but it has a terrible ratio rear diff because it is slower. And overall, it's just not as, I would say, like, supportive. You can make them fast. Like, you can make them just as fast as the 328s, but you get a head start when you start with a higher rated, like a higher horsepower motor. You know, so I'm at maybe 150, or maybe it was like 140 to the wheels. Turbo kit, I haven't done dyno. I'm hoping that I'm at maybe 220 horsepower, maybe 230 on like the highest end. Like, with how unhealthy this tune is, I doubt it. So if you can get that 175 horsepower to start, and then you were to turbo it, I mean, now you're at 250, 260 on a cheap turbo kit. And now, like, if you were to go put like a nice Garrett turbo on there with some nice quality coil packs, fuel injectors, fuel pump, and maybe run ethanol, you're at 450 horsepower easily. I mean, obviously you got to make sure that the motor supports it and the head gaskets aren't going to blow, and BMW have the notorious cooling issues. But that's where I went wrong, and that's okay, because we're going to fix that in the future, and we're going to make this car great. After right here, and we won't miss shift. So if you learned anything from this video, it's that E36 is a perfect car to drift, build, work on. They're super easy. So don't use this video as a way to not go buy that E36. I say if you see one on Facebook right now or Craigslist, you should go buy it immediately, unless it has like a rusted out bottom and you don't know how to weld or just something stupid, you know. But on another note, if you want to make your garage awesome with cool flooring, or get a nice power washer, or maybe look at getting some cool cabinets or something, you should go down below and click the link in the bio and go over to Obsessed Garage and just check out everything that they have to offer, because they can help all of your organization. They can help make all of your stuff look better and stay cleaner. So go down below, check them out, buy something. We love supporting them. I wish we were fully sponsored by them, but we are not. But it still doesn't mean that you shouldn't go down below and help them out, because you help them, they help us. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a different, more informative video. Hopefully Ethan and I are trying to plan a track day to where we can actually go drift this and see if the turbo really did help, which I already know it's going to help, but it's just kind of more of a matter of how long will it last with the turbo. But yeah, sorry, I don't have any private roadways I can go do some more action video for you, but until we get to the track, that's what you guys get. So drop in the comments below if you got any questions about my opinion on the E36 chassis, and I will let you know and be completely honest with you for all of what I have learned building this car. So thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.